You guys are amazing. All right, what a story here, as 3 out of every 100 children have some form of scoliosis, with more than 100,000 new pediatric cases reported in the United States every year. And a unique event that's happening this Sunday is spreading awareness and making sure kids can get screened. It's called Spine Screen, and it is happening at Edgewater Park in Cleveland on Sunday. It's going to be a fun event. And here to tell us all about it is Jessica Westfall from Akron Children's Hospital. And I welcome you. I'm so glad we're talking about this. It's such an important thing. And I was telling my producer, I grew up, my mom is the one who diagnosed my scoliosis when I was young. And thanks to my sweet Dr. Ferguson in Canton, Ohio, helped me. So this is such a big thing that people aren't even aware of how many kids have this.
Right. So we actually have a lot of kids that come into our office that their parents identify scoliosis. And Ohio is one of the states where they don't mandate school screenings anymore. So we think it's really important to teach parents and give them the tools to identify scoliosis in their children.
And you said usually it is. As I mentioned, my mom is who noticed something wasn't quite right with my spine. You just diagnosed your daughter too, same thing.
Yeah.
Tell us about that. And usually it is parents noticing something doesn't quite look right.
Right. So my 12-year-old, I noticed it on her about 2 years ago. She was just leaning forward and I noticed one of the signs of scoliosis. One of her shoulder blades was higher than the other, and so I got her in for an x-ray and she has mild scoliosis.
So the big thing here, because sometimes you need surgery, but you need to catch it as it's early when kids are still growing, or else it can really give them lifelong problems.
Exactly. So the hope is that we catch scoliosis early enough that if the child needs treatment, we can initiate that. So what we typically recommend is a brace, and that's for children whose scoliosis is above 20 or 25 degrees. And the purpose of the brace is to slow the curve down while they're growing to prevent a surgery.
Right. And that brace can't correct it, but as you mentioned, it can slow it down and really make sure it doesn't get to a worse stage. We do have some tips and tricks for parents to look out for. This is really what parents, this one hip resting higher than the other. So maybe, you know, if they're not doing screenings in schools, do it yourself. Do it with your kids and say, let me just stand straight. You're 2 feet on the floor, shoulders up, back straight, and then go from there.
Right. So part of the spine screen event is that one good opportunity to identify scoliosis in your child is when you're applying sunscreen. So things that you look for are one shoulder being higher than the other. When you're looking at your child from behind, you might notice that one of their shoulder blades sticks out a little more than the other. They may have what we call waistline asymmetry, where one side of the waist is curvier than the other. One of their hips may be higher. They may have a sign called trunk shift, which is where they almost look like they're leaning to one side. And if they're leaning forward, you can sometimes see, like I did in my daughter, that one of their rib cages, one side of their rib cage is higher than the other, or their lower back is higher on one side or the other.
How fascinating that this is your area of work and you see it in your daughter. I bet you couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I was pretty surprised.
Yeah, and so, but there are other ways with therapy too. You might not even need braces. There are other things that you can do too.
So sometimes we add or offer physical therapy as an adjunct to bracing. Really, bracing is the treatment modality that has the best evidence behind it. So sometimes we do add on physical therapy to bracing to address the curve.
Well, it's interesting and it's funny because of the connection with the sunscreen, because sometimes that's the only time that your parents or your kids are standing still for more than 2 seconds because they're running around all the time. So when they're standing there and you're applying the sunscreen is a great partnership that you guys are doing now to make sure, hey, this is a good opportunity. You're seeing your kids, and usually when you're applying sunscreen, they don't have their shirts on and all of that stuff. So you're able to see the stuff you're looking for. All right, so tell us about all the things that you brought here today.
So what we have is a beach towel that we'll have at the spine screening event.
And you get this for free?
Yes.
How
and
nice.
The scoliosis screening will be done by a provider, and it's also free of charge.
So nice.
And then we'll be giving out sunscreen, and on the bottle it actually has the signs of scoliosis so that you don't have to memorize it. It's here on the bottle available for you that you can reference when you apply sunscreen. And we recommend that children are screened at least once a year for scoliosis, but at a minimum, we recommend that girls are screened twice at age 10 and 12, and boys once at minimum at either age 13 or 14.
And that's the other thing that again, here's there's all the information. It's happening this Sunday from 10 until noon. There is a rain date, but I think Alexa said the weekend's going to be perfect. So we want to thank our friends at Akron Children's for doing this, and it is free. Just show up between those hours, and you'll be able to get a great beach towel. It's beautiful, and this little packet of sunscreen. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Such great information. And I want to thank my Dr. Ferguson. I love you.